Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Alamjeet Flora from Pothos Events. Welcome to the Wednesday Talk Show. The Wednesday Talk Show is brought to you every Wednesday, and today we've joined you after a while. So I hope you guys are doing well and you've had a great time all these 2 weeks that we were not together. So thank you for motivating us and staying with us and always asking us what's the next show. So today we are back with a very interesting topic on managing emotions. Emotions is something that humans are always dealing in. Humans are known for, and with their emotions, we have, when we talk about emotions, we're largely talking about the sad part. But today we are going to be talking about a lot of things, the happy emotions, the sad emotions, the in between. We have an expert with us who's going to be joining us from New York, from US, and she is Manisha Singh. She has over 20 years of experience in human resources, education, training, and consulting. Manisha holds a master's degree in psychology and she's a gold medalist in applied psychology honors from Delhi University. She also has coached close to 5,000 management and engineering students. She is a co-founder of Purpose Ladder, an organization helping organizations and individuals to reach full potential. Today we are going to take as much as possible from Manisha. So guys who are joining in, as you know the format of the show, please ask your questions and we'll answer them for you. So let's bring in Manisha Singh from US. Hi, Manisha. Welcome to the Wednesday Talk Show.
Thank you, Alam. Nice to be here, and it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure, Manisha. Thank you. We have chosen this topic of managing emotions. So, whenever anyone talks about emotions, there's a gamut of things that just come up like, okay, what's this? It's very touchy for some people also. And when we talk on this, so can you please explain what is managing emotions?
Sure. Thanks, Alam, for the question. But another thing, before starting, apart from my introduction, I just wanted to tell all the viewers about my journey in
Yeah,
emotional intelligence. As to how it fascinated me. So I was, as you know, I'm a psychology student. So I've been fascinated with the individual differences and the reason of okay, why I do what I do. So when it came to emotions, I used to actually get very irritated and very affected by when people used to say that, oh, Manisha, you're a very emotional person. And from that to this phase where I feel that I'm proud that I'm an emotional person. So I will touch upon those changes during the course of our discussion. So
that's good.
and how becoming a emotion scientist and being curious about your own emotions, how it helps me in my daily life. So we're going to talk about that. And one another thing which I want to highlight is that when it comes to emotional intelligence, the best thing is we're all work in progress. So
Absolutely.
that pressure is never on me that, oh, I have to be because during the day there are so many things happen, and
I
there are times when you kind of behave in a way which sometimes it's not aligned with what you really want to do, or which so those are
yeah.
certain moments. So we're all work in progress, so just relax and let's enjoy. So coming back to your question on managing emotions and what it means. So let's if we see the research, so there are some, on an average, we have around 70,000 thoughts in a day
Yeah,
and around 27 emotions per hour. So that is our inner world.
true.
And there is a huge impact of the inner world on our outer world, right?
Yeah,
Our thoughts and emotions, how they affect our relationships, our
yeah,
effectiveness, our quality of life, our well being. So there is a huge relationship between our inner world and outer world.
yeah,
So managing emotions in a nutshell is tuning on to your inner world so that you understand the impact of those things on you and those things on others.
yeah,
So in a nutshell, that is what in brief, is what my understanding of managing emotions is.
Hmm. So you mean that it helps you to react or respond once you know yourself better?
Yeah, so you've put it right. So moving from reaction to response.
Yeah.
As Viktor Frankl has said that between stimulus and response, there is a that there lies our power.
Yes.
So when we understand and when we talk about managing emotions, we use that pause, the power of that pause
Right.
in managing that inner world and that inner landscape. And so we have come a long way from, we used to, a lot of times I hear that, okay, I would like to control my emotion.
Yeah.
So that is
We
what,
are even suggested to control our emotions, you know.
yeah,
I think even some upbringings have been like this, that, you know, you control your emotions, don't show that you're weak,
yeah,
and don't show you're vulnerable. I'm glad people are, you know, now understanding it's okay to cry.
yes,
It's okay to say I was wrong, you know. So I
yes.
guess, yeah.
Absolutely, Alan, you're right that there is a huge shift in terms of that even language, that from controlling emotions, we are moving to managing, and slowly,
Yeah.
slowly we're moving to understanding,
Hmm.
because that is another better word. Because even
Yeah.
when it comes to manage, you feel okay, you have to manage something, whereas you have to understand your emotions because they are in 6 seconds. So I've done it from 6 seconds, and organizations which is dedicated to reach billion of people, for emotional intelligence. So
Mhm.
there we say there's a tagline that emotions drive people and people drive performance. So
Yes.
let's say that, okay, let's take this example right now that now, okay, we are in this show, and if I do this emotional check-in for myself, that as to how, what are the things that I'm feeling right now. So I'm excited definitely to be here with all of you. I am grateful for the opportunity. I am little nervous because it's like, technological challenges
Yeah.
come up. And but the best part is that when we allow, I love this thing by Mark Brackett, which is, founder of Yale School of Emotional Intelligence, who says give yourself permission to feel
Correct.
all your emotions. So now these words, scared, anxious, anxiety, those things don't scare me now because I feel, let me embrace them, let me allow them, let me acknowledge them, and let us have this, in this room here all the emotions are welcome. So
Yeah.
then the main important thing is how you change your relationship with this word emotion.
Hmm. Very important. Yeah.
Yeah, so because so that is where that was the game changer for me, that not to have these two piles of good and bad emotions. It's because all the emotions are, they have some information, they have some insight, they have some wisdom. So when it
Yeah.
comes to managing emotion, what we do is we tune on to the wisdom of every emotion. So let's
Correct.
say even if it's fear,
Yeah.
the fear is telling me to be more prepared. Fear is,
Hmm.
can tell me that, okay, don't jump into something, because it's a biologically, if you see, if you remember the old times when we were in forest and all, so that was a survival
Yeah.
mechanism.
Instinct.
Fear
Yeah.
was gearing up, it was making our body alert to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So not the most important thing is when we speak about thoughts and emotions, they are they're going to be there.
Yeah.
Right now what we have to do is we are not supposed to, like, what we have to work on is not getting hooked onto those thoughts and emotions,
Yeah.
rather try to understand. So
Yeah. And also, where somewhere I heard is that, you know, it's also the words that you use to describe your emotions. So if
mhm.
you are nervous, you know, when going up on a stage or something, so you can also say that you are excited. So just using another word, it just changes the whole emotion. And I think it just, as you said, it's performance, you know, it leads to good performance.
Yeah. At the same
So,
time, so Alam, you're right that when you reframe, but at the same time, even on stage,
mm,
personally, I don't feel there's nothing wrong in saying, in opening up yourself, your deeper, your authentic self, that yes, I am nervous, and everybody
yeah,
understands.
true.
Right. So, and
Yeah.
can just maybe laugh about it, but accepting that nervousness changes the message to your brain itself that, oh, it is okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like,
I, I'll
yeah.
I'll in fact share with you that when we did our Pothos events first show and when I went up on stage, I was actually the first thing I said was I'm nervous. And the response that the audience gave, they just cheered me up. It just changed the whole thing so much. So it's good actually to show your vulnerability sometimes.
Yeah.
It gives you another kind of power, I think. You feel like normal, like everyone's on the same page.
Yes.
So
There
yeah,
is a huge concept of validating. It's like, let's say, if you meet me and you validate who I am, right? You validate a friend, you acknowledge their presence. It's the same thing with emotions. That
yeah,
you are acknowledging, you are, kind of understanding. You're showing that concern. You're showing that empathy to that emotion and understanding it.
yeah. Very true. Very true. So, what are the reasons? See, people are unable to identify with their emotions, and they don't know how to deal with it. So, what do you think
Mm-hmm.
could
Yeah.
be the reasons for that?
See, one, as you mentioned in the beginning itself, that it's like we are not taught as such, culturally also.
Yeah,
There has been more tendency towards either suppress your emotions or deny them or don't acknowledge them, so push them away, right?
yeah,
So this has been, there is like, we spend so much time in schools on maths and science, but is there any subject called self science?
yeah,
Is there any subject on our own understanding that, okay, even if I have to, let's say, is there anything which is possible without emotions? Whether, we say that behind every action and every inaction, there is an emotion. So if I have
yeah,
to study something, if I have to perform, can you learn something if you're not interested in it? Can you learn something if you're not able to focus? Can you learn something if your thoughts are, here and there and scattered everywhere and you're not able to pinpoint? So as
yeah.
you said, one of the things that you said was naming your emotion.
Hmm.
That itself, if you see the science behind it, we say name it to tame it. If you're
Right.
able to name it, you're able to at least do something about it.
True.
And here, if we have, if the time permits, I would like to talk about a little bit on our brain, because
Hmm.
that explains itself. The 6 seconds pause that we talk about, the power of pause. So
Yeah.
because information comes to your emotional brain first, we feel first.
Yeah.
Right. So the architecture of the brain gives the preference to amygdala first, where their emotions and hypothalamus memories are all formed, and then it goes to the rational brain where the prefrontal cortex.
Yes.
So these chemicals stay there only for 6 seconds actually. And imagine this, they look so, it's such a short duration of time.
Yeah.
Before that only, sometimes we snap or we kind of yell or we kind of go into another mode. Whereas if we cross that bridge, if we
Mm-hmm.
take a reflective pause, we are able to move from that reaction, as you said, to a response zone, because we are able to
Think.
activate our, yeah, the thinking. So it's always that merge of that thinking and feeling which will always give you optimum results.
Yeah.
So one is, as the naming of the emotion. And because we never work on our emotional vocabulary.
Right. Yeah.
So actually trying to understand. So let me take an example here. Let's say that when I moved to US, before that also, like 12 years back, we were here and I used to drive. Now
Hmm.
after driving in India, somehow I was finding it difficult to drive here. And the moment my husband used to say, Manisha, okay, you drive today, and I don't know, my I call it, then I'll say, my amygdala is getting hijacked now, because I used to get a little angry. And
Hmm.
I used to say, why are you getting angry at me? And then, I kind of understood that actually this anger, behind that anger is the fear.
Yeah.
Behind that fear is the worry that, okay, my whole family is sitting, at the
And I
back,
have
and
to
I'm
try.
driving, and I hope everything is okay. So if you see the layers of the emotions, and then you're
Yeah.
able to find, so that is where another thing why we're not able to kind of deal with this is because we are spending less time on reflection of what are the onion layers,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
what is behind it.
Yeah.
So if we do that, that definitely helps. It's kind of, we talk about an iceberg model, that what is visible on the top, the loudest emotion, let's say, maybe
Mm,
actually that is visible. That's why, it's like seen by others. But
yeah, but what's
behind
big?
that, yeah. So behind that, let's say if I'm getting angry at my child, now behind that
Mm,
anger, is it that, okay, I had a very tough day? And is it okay if I tell my child that I had a very tough day and I need some time and I will,
yeah.
talk to you. So
Yeah.
expressing, so that way, simultaneously, I think it helps that we are role models also for them because
Yeah.
how we are managing. It's okay. They understand that it's okay to feel angry. It's not a bad emotion. They understand that emotions coexist,
Mm,
right? That okay, tiredness is causing that anger.
yeah.
So
And they
they
know the
are
reality, rather
the
than just
reality.
guessing. And
Yeah. So they see
yeah.
you more as a person and not as someone, because parents do. We all, make these mistakes sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So,
True.
so there are, these are the different reasons as to kind of not understanding, and that's why not realizing what my real need is.
Mm,
Because if I'm able to name it, then I will be able to tell Alam, see, this is what I need.
yeah.
So yesterday we were going out and we had some work, and both my husband and I was little. I could feel that we're a little edgy right now. So what I told my son was that, see, both of us are right now a little stressed. So now you kind of, I mean, so I
Balance.
balance. So I really asked for his support.
Yeah.
That if, let's say, we say something or it's like, we are irritated, or we kind of something, it's there, then you understand that can be one of the reasons. So at least
Yeah.
one I shared, so I was feeling a little better. So
Very important. Yeah. No, very important. So yeah, that's what happens, we are unable to deal with the, situations, and also not able to express. This is very challenging for many people to, express themselves.
um,
So do you have any tips for these kind of people, like who can, like, it's okay to express and just come up with it?
yes, so let's talk about a few of the immediate techniques that we can use to manage that. uh,
Yeah.
so first, this looks, I'm going to repeat till the end of the session of welcoming all your emotions
Hmm.
after the session, maybe, because these things, see, another important thing is, as I said, we are work in progress means, but at the same time we have to work on them instead
Yeah.
of thinking that they get in our way. We shift our mindsets to that they get us on the way, because we have, because if I change that thought about that emotion, then it's easy to deal with. It's easy to manage that. It's easy to understand. So one of the thing is, first, not putting them in good or bad piles, right? Second, one of the technique that one can use is, it's called, body mind heart scan. So
Yeah.
because every emotion has a physiological, I mean,
Reaction. Yeah.
say, yeah. So I mean, you can say reaction, because let's say if I'm nervous, my hands will sweat, or there will be butterflies in my stomach,
Yeah.
throat will dry. So every person has different. So if you tune on to what is happening at my body,
Hmm.
so it changes that focus. And then coming to the heart scan is, okay, what exactly am I feeling right now? And another is, okay, what kind of thoughts are going on in my mind? That, let's say, if the thought is that, oh, you know what, there will be a technical challenge today also, and it's gonna goof up, or I have given some 20 interviews before and I have failed every time and I'm gonna do the same thing again. So I am hooked on to, so identifying that, okay, what are the thoughts right now? So that's
Yeah.
kind of body, heart, and mind, that will help you. And actually writing it down, it really helps.
Okay. Yeah, they say like writing is like meditation,
Yes,
so you when
writing
you
it.
write, you, it's like meditation and you feel more optimistic about the whole thing. So yeah, that's a good
One,
tip.
so because even right now, let's say what I do is I make a big, weekly, like Monday,
Hmm.
like so the whole week I'll write, and I'll write all the emotions that I feel during the whole day.
Wow.
That itself, that check-in, I still have that, I have that board. So that gives me an idea that, okay, first of all, what all things I'm feeling, and if it tells me about my needs and what I need
Hmm.
to do to manage them.
Right.
And second thing is it helps you to see it from a distance.
Hmm.
R-
Right.
Susan David, she's a Harvard psychologist, and she really beautifully says that instead of saying that I am sad, if I change it to I'm feeling sad,
Hmm.
instead of saying that I'm, let's say I'm stupid, right? But I'm having this thought that, this
It's not me. It's like it's just a thought.
it's
Yeah,
just a thought.
exactly. It changes
Not,
a whole lot of things.
so
Yeah.
not identifying with the emotion.
Yeah.
We kind of, so if I see, I will say, oh, okay, during the whole day there were varied emotions.
Hmm.
Sometimes if I don't do that, personally, okay, this helps me because otherwise I feel a little lost. So it helps me to see that, oh, the whole gamut.
Yeah.
And so that technique also helps. So
Hmm.
basically tuning on to these, so these are those immediate breathing. And as we
Yeah.
see emotion, the meaning of it is only something which moves you.
Right.
So to simply, let's say if you are like doing like this, or you're sad or something, and immediately you change your posture.
Hmm.
That's an immediate shift you feel. In
Right.
training, we always do this, that we tell our participants to move around,
Hmm.
change their
Correct.
places. Sometimes
Right.
you go, let's say you're sitting in your study room, but you want to think something, you just change your position, you change, go to some other room. This is sometimes a different perspective. So to move around, to
Yeah.
breathe, to get in touch with your breathing. Breathing is the most, it is with us, but if you remember, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can actually feel that maybe you're not breathing properly. And the more deep breath you do, you kind of change your focus on that.
True.
So these
True.
are few of the things that can help you to manage, emotions.
Yeah, fantastic. Breathing is something I also highly recommend. It's,
Hmm.
you're doing this constantly, and
Yes.
just this very simple tool can, make so much of impact in your daily. So, we also talk when we talk about, emotions. So, do you think like people, I'm using this word very lightly, like ego. So, is it ego a barrier when, you are managing your emotions and dealing with people sometimes, or how can someone overcome this? This
Hmm.
can be a big challenge for some people. Yeah.
Yeah. So, see, so one part is the managing me part, right? And when it
Mm,
comes to relationship, am I also tuned on to what others are feeling?
mm,
And only then a relationship works,
right.
right? And how do I do that? I will look at the body language of that person. So those are, we call the dashboards, right? These are
Yeah.
which helps us to understand, okay, how the other person is feeling, or so when initially when I said that the problem is not thoughts and emotions, the
Mm,
problem is getting hooked on to that.
yeah.
Right. So, I love the story of that elephant, right? Which is the circus elephants, which are tied to small nails
Change.
and very, thick ropes initially when they're babies. And when
And
they
it's
keep
in their mind.
trying, yeah, so, and it's in their mind that, I tried enough, and then they stop trying. And even
Yeah.
when they are big, they're huge, they can uproot trees, but still in their mind, what they feel that I have tried enough and it's not possible. And they're
Yeah.
still there tied to those tiny nails and those very thin ropes. And
Yeah.
similarly, this is how our mind works. So, ego for me is when I have not questioned my thoughts and my beliefs. That is
Right.
the time when I'm operating from that state.
Hmm.
That, these are so ingrained, they are so, like they're in the unconscious, and they are not coming up because I have not questioned them.
Yeah.
and I come in the zone of an autopilot behavior.
True.
So, it's like this, that you are moving in the circle
Yeah.
is
The
getting
same
in
patterns.
the same pattern. You're not even looking up to see that, okay, you know what, I'm repeating some pattern, that's why this is happening.
Yeah.
So whenever we have, as I said, that there are four parameters sort of that we talk about, parameters, that effectiveness, relationships, quality, well-being, quality of life. So you see this emotional check-in exercise helps you to understand, okay, where is the impact of on these areas,
Yeah.
right? And then if I have, let's say that if I am having some relationship issue with you, let's say, and
Hmm.
there's something called identifying your triggers and identifying your patterns.
Yeah.
But what happens is that this needs work. This needs to really, as you said, that journaling, writing down, and then seeing, being, and a scientist, a detective, an
Of
explorer
yourself.
of
Yeah.
curiosity. That, okay, if
Yeah.
this is happening again and again, how I am getting in my way,
True.
and what can I do, so here there is a very simple, and that's why I love 6 seconds model. It talks about, it's simply called KCG. So I'll just,
Hmm.
so K is knowing yourself, that, okay, where
Hmm.
we spoke about, okay, what I'm feeling, and what else am I feeling. These are two very
Yeah.
powerful questions in EQ coaching, that, okay, what are you feeling and what else are you feeling, because at one time you're feeling many things.
Many things. Yeah. True.
Right. And
True.
second is choosing, is, okay, what are the different options that I have?
Hmm.
And where, that, so if you are, as I said, that, okay, if your hand is here, you're not able to see it properly. If you look
Yeah.
here, you have a view.
True.
Similarly, if you're able to see the emotion from here, then you're able to see. And,
See.
okay, this is a limiting belief that I have.
Hmm.
And I need to work on that. So, questioning those inner things, your inner world, will definitely impact your outer world.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
agree.
very, it's like, you go to a gym, right, every day to build muscles. So, it
Yeah.
is also like a muscle. It,
True.
it,
Very true.
it needs practice, it needs
Hmm.
continuous, even then, and it needs that thing to never give up. One
Yeah.
thing that I tell myself is, okay, I'm not going to give up. I might feel frustrated, but I will not give up on myself.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
So, your question too, in terms of ego, is, I think that point of time, if you are having any of these issues, it's good to sometimes question your beliefs. What is
Yeah.
driving it? What is driving that thought?
Very true.
If I have to overcome that fear of driving, what is driving? The worry is driving it. Okay, so can I first initially practice alone and then go with my family? So it is just telling me to be more prepared and to practice more.
Yeah. True. Good. Okay, that's nice. And we are also parents, Manisha. So we have kids and we want them also, then how can we help these our kids to, especially I'm talking because they have not been brought up in the environment that we were brought up. We interacted with friends, we played around with them, but they are all virtual, and emotions is something is that's I feel is going to be very challenging for these kids. How do you think that we can help them in identifying the emotions, using it correctly
Hmm.
from an early age?
Yes, so good question, Alam. This is very, very important and challenging for all of us. I have a teenager, so ask me. I mean, so uh, I think from the beginning, if we can increase their emotional vocabulary, as I
Hmm.
said, that a lot of schools, okay, I'm glad that few schools are having, but what
Yeah.
happens is, okay, in a week they'll have one period for that, right?
Yeah.
And that's not enough. So in our daily lives, if we can have those spaces where even for 15 minutes we talk about their what exactly, and even asking them what else are they feeling, using some emotion cards, increasing their emotional vocabulary, using, first of all, for us also, using those words, and actually expressing
Hmm.
ourselves.
Yeah. We model it for them.
We
Yeah.
model it for them, and even if, let's say, if we have not been able to do the right modeling, at least we are able to tell them that yes, I've,
Yeah.
this is, I mean, kind of even accepting.
True.
First is that, there's a concept called emotion contagion. That as a parent, my emotions are affecting others. As a leader, my emotions are affecting my team. It's
Yeah.
contagious, right? If you laugh, I'm gonna laugh. It's like that, right?
Yeah.
What kind of emotions I am spraying around?
True.
First, as a parent, I need to be, I think, aware that
Yeah.
if I am spraying some emotions, I think the child is gonna actually see that.
Yeah.
So first, as a parent, I think I need to process. And then when you talk about tools, then okay, increasing their emotional vocabulary also. And as you said that okay, when we sometimes from our own upbringing, when if by mistake we talk about okay, this is not something that we talk about in our house, or we kind of be open to
Yeah.
at least have difficult conversations,
Yes.
even if yes, they are difficult conversations, but be willing to have them.
Yeah. Give that space to the
With that
child that.
space and actually making a feeling charter, we call it. That okay,
Hmm.
what are the things that how do we want to be actually, how do we want to feel, and what can we do to have that feeling?
Right.
So, and having really maybe a corner in the house, and actually okay, let's come to this zone and talk about it. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. I want to show you something. Let's say even you get these small things,
Oh
emotions in
yeah.
movies, and
Hmm.
there are many actually. So talk about them, talk about your feelings, talk about okay, when do you feel okay, have when you feel okay, loved, let's say. So
Hmm.
basically encouraging to in them to have these conversations around these different emotions, even difficult ones. And
Yeah.
especially, and you must have seen in your kids also, you ask them something. Even with us it happens that the loudest emotion sometimes is not actually what is the real issue.
True. It's somewhere down.
Somewhere else, it's
Yeah.
something which needs
Coming
to
from
be
somewhere
more
else.
deeper, like cutting an onion and seeing the
Hmm.
layers. So even with kids,
True.
uh, first showing that first pause in yourself. Let's say if they are saying something, sometimes as a parent you feel, oh, this is not how you're supposed to talk. We sometimes say that, right? Or this is not
Yeah.
right, but at the same time maybe at least trying to find out okay, where is it coming from,
Yeah.
and actually helping them do some mindful exercises, that BMX scan that I said, and
Yeah.
having maybe having an exercise called audit. So okay, this audit word is big for them, but let's write down what all thoughts we had today. Which
True.
thought helped you? Let's say they are not able to you find them having some difficulty in a particular subject, or with some friend that they are sharing they have some issue,
Right.
then asking them, because it is not just one thing that they're feeling, I'm sure they're
Many
feeling
things.
more actually.
Yeah.
So sometimes when they're not doing well in studies, we feel like the superficial thing, but maybe there are some, especially the teenager time, right? They have some issues with their friends and they're not able
Yeah.
to focus. That is taking,
True.
and it happens with us also, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Giving them that space, but doing these exercises very regularly,
Hmm.
not just once in a while.
Bed regular. Yeah.
Especially, I will say that there was now I think there is in between a phase where they just don't want to talk about.
Hmm.
They don't want to actually talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Start little early
That phase.
and give them that vocabulary. Have
Hmm.
those. There are too many apps that are available. Uh,
Okay.
there is one mood meter which is by Yale. There is one Platchip model of emotion. We can search on Google. There are many apps. Checking
Okay.
in, telling them also that okay, after
Hmm.
every, let's say, 4 hours, to start with, okay, after every 5 hours we'll do a emotional check-in. Consciously doing that.
Okay.
that helps them to see the pattern. Because if we have to identify some pattern within us and within them, then we need to
Hmm.
kind of, write it down, see it, and observe it. So that way, those kind of things.
That's good. Can you share those apps with me? I can post it on the
Yes.
page.
So,
So that'll be nice.
one there is one mood meter,
Mm-hmm. Mood
which
meter.
is by Yale School of Social, Emotional Intelligence. Then Platchik model. There's one Platchik model that
Mm-hmm.
you can refer to. Then there are actually a lot of emotion list words. I keep many, for me also, because
Okay.
sometimes it helps to just see it. Okay, what exactly is happening.
Mm.
So
True.
kind of, and then very interesting pop-up festivals that 6 seconds conducts. There are free activities actually
Okay.
which they conduct, so parents can find out about pop-up festival, which is the near one, because it happens across the world. And now
Okay.
being online, let's say if I conduct, I can do it, for kids in India, for kids anywhere actually. So they can
Yeah.
be a part of that, and those activities helps them to. There are many activities which are related to goal. Then a simple activity, let's say I'll share, like color your heart. When you tell them
Mm-hmm.
color your heart, okay, what all emotions, and put different colors on that, within their heart itself they see that okay, so many emotions can coexist. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we feel that okay, this
Only
is
one.
what I'm feeling,
Yeah.
but I can be scared and grateful at the same time.
Yeah. But we don't acknowledge it, no? It's just the thing that, we're not in that mindset of acknowledging that we can have multiple emotions
Yeah.
and
So,
find it
and
sometimes
yeah,
abnormal.
I mean, telling them also that even say this affirmation that I have permission to feel everything.
Yeah. Very important.
So, and there are actually, let's say that, this is we adults. I mean, see, a lot of things actually, I mean, imagine this, I got a gift on this birthday. So, these are not just for kids, it's for adults also.
Yeah, for adults also. I think we need to be childlike
I
sometimes. It's
put
very
this love,
important.
anxiety, love, scared at this, same time in front of me.
Yeah.
What happens is that, these three C, being curious, being compassionate
Hmm.
towards, even if I'm anxious, I'm compassionate towards my anxiety. What is it trying
Yeah.
to tell me?
Yeah.
Off late, I have started this. I have this exercise I just got to know, so I've just started doing it 2 weeks back, called gift of emotion. That okay, every emotion has a gift.
Hmm.
So after so many emotions that you feel, end of the day, at least okay, you don't have time to do emotional check-in. At least end of the day, write one emotion that you feel is a gift for you.
Yeah.
And I
That's
will
nice.
say, I will add one more thing, that do it for both a comfortable emotion and a not so comfortable emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do
Because
that.
something that challenges you, I think, brings sometimes the best out of you.
Yes. Yeah.
So take it positively.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. You're the expert. This is just my.
yeah, exactly. I mean, so reframing, self-talk, right? How you're changing that, as you said initially, that also, helps in the immediate. Because sometimes, see, a lot of these times, it happens with all of us that when we need to use them, we forget them. Because
Yeah.
that is where the amygdala hijack can happen.
True, true, true.
That's why consistency. So when we spoke about, the three C's, so if it's curiosity, if it's, the second C we spoke about was, I mean, the first C is, okay, the courage to be
Hmm.
vulnerable. Then
Yeah.
be curious. And the third C is commitment, because this needs work,
Yeah. True.
and
Yeah.
everyday work. So this will be my request to, if parents can do that. So it's like
That'll be-
kind of uh, looking at your inner weather.
Hmm.
Outside, whatever can happen. I think the pandemic pause actually taught, all this to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I think now I see it after 2 years, it was much required for all of us to go on that break. I think everyone was just running
Yeah.
and not, doing the self check. I
Yes.
think it's really helped many, many, many. I know so many. So that's really good. Yeah.
One of
And
the
I
things, sorry, you were saying something?
no, no, I was just asking you my next question, but if you have something to say,
Yeah,
please.
because that exercise helps me a lot, when the pandemic started, which is
Hmm.
which I knew for so long, like circle of control and what is, what is under your control.
Yeah.
So let's say we had just relocated and this whole thing happened, and I was
Mm.
really worried about my son, that okay, if something happens to me and my husband, what will happen? I mean, those kind of thoughts. See,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, of course.
natural to have those thoughts, and especially when
Yes.
you just landed here and
It's
everything,
everything new.
nothing went as per your plan. So,
Yeah.
uh, in one of the community calls, and they actually made us do that, and because sometimes what happens, I will know it, but if I don't do it, then it doesn't help.
Mm.
And I said, oh my God, I literally need to write down that, okay, what is under my control? So as the whole world, I mean, under your control is, okay, okay, take care of the, I mean, mask and other things, that, okay, he should have all the numbers with him if he needs to kind of take help, right?
Yeah.
All those basic things that you can take care of.
True.
Now, whether this will happen to me or not, I mean, those things are not under my control as
Not in your control. Yeah.
actually, whenever you're feeling that overwhelmed, or whenever you're feeling that, okay, I'm not able to decide anything, do this exercise for yourself, that okay, what is under my control, and outside, literally write down what is not under your control, because
Wait.
no, because that's why our brain remembers images more,
Yeah.
and you will remember that, okay, these are things are not under my control, so
Don't
let
stress about it.
don't stress about it. So that exercise also can help deal
Yeah.
with the different things that happen in the whole day.
Yeah, this is what I was coming to was, the
Hmm.
peer pressure that you have usually, the societal pressure. This
Hmm.
is you take so much stress because you're thinking, overthinking sometimes of what other people are thinking, how I should react, how I should behave. There are a lot of things.
Hmm.
So, what would be your pointers for, something like that? How do we deal with that?
Yeah, so one other thing is especially let's say peer pressure. I mean, at some age, it's very very natural first of all to have that
Yeah, yeah,
shift. That it's normal because they are developing their identity, and there are so many things happening outside. That comparison comes, that pressure comes from them. So that point of time, very important thing is to from the beginning itself to work on your own self esteem and your own what is the image that you have about yourself, because if
yeah,
I am confident about myself, right, then there is less tendency of me actually getting affected by my
by
peers.
anything. True.
So
Very
if
true.
you see your child getting affected and by things around, so maybe
Yeah,
that's a warning sign for me as a parent, that okay, I need to work on what that means, that they are not in touch with their strengths right now.
yeah. And for anybody, it's for everyone
For
also,
anyone,
the
yeah.
child.
Even in corporate, like, you have that
Yeah,
pressure or something.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I have, and there are times when we definitely we need to tap into that inner power.
Mm,
And as we said, okay, intentional living, actually, okay, what are the other options? What are, asking yourself, and what do I really want?
right.
So, and see, when it comes to a child, definitely it needs, this is a huge lot of work. So, what can be our immediate help
Yeah,
to them is to kind of be more, positively encouraging them,
true.
focusing more on, okay, what good they are doing. Because as parent, I have a teenager, so I know it
Yeah,
sometimes is very difficult,
it's
to
very difficult.
but even if
Yeah,
you're working in this area, it becomes difficult. But coming back every day, I think not giving up, and every day parenting is like it's a everyday show.
and you're trying things every day. And parenting is, not one recipe, it's not like one prescription suits everyone. It's different. Children are so different. Yeah.
And as you said, I mean, it's what works for you might not work with my child.
Yeah,
What
true.
works with one child might not work with your other
Not
child.
work. I have two, so I
Yeah,
know it's
yeah,
not easy. It's not the
not
same.
easy. So, but at the same time, I think working on their, because in emotional intelligence, the first is the self awareness part.
Hmm. True.
So, that exercise also in the beginning itself, what are my strengths? Because the
Yeah.
more I'm aware, and believe me, there are studies also, right? And we also know that self awareness, we all will say. I mean, if you ask me, I will say, yeah, yeah, 95% I'm aware. But am I really aware?
No.
I mean, I have to accept that no, I'm not aware of everything about myself. So it, because every day there will be different challenges. Let's say as parents also, right? When they are,
Yeah.
well, it's there are different challenges when they're 13, 14, when they're high schoolers now, there are different challenges.
Yeah.
So basically, I think working on our own emotional health as a parent I will be then more, it will be little easy for me, little easy
Yeah.
for me to maybe tune on to, my child's emotion.
Very true.
Because sometimes, yes, it happens that whatever is happening, it happens with my son also. Whatever is happening might be in his mind. I might not know. There will be, there are times.
Yeah.
But
They
keep
are
your
having their.
dialogue open. Don't give up on yourself. Don't let because they are emotional sponges. End of the day, they
Mm,
want to take that from you.
true.
So
True.
giving yourself that time as a parent will help.
Very true. Very true. Great.
So,
And before you go, I have two more questions. So if I can take it. So, we have been talking about emotions and challenging and all that, everything. But I am sure, and you will be able to enlighten us on this, that emotions can motivate you to a very large extent if you use it correctly. So, how do you, describe this to our viewers?
yeah.
How do you use it?
So as we said in the beginning itself that emotion itself means to move. So
Yeah.
even actually, if you actually think about it, even anger can motivate you. It
Yeah.
motivates us to some extent. A comparison can motivate you. A little jealousy can motivate you to do better, right?
Yeah.
It's in our mind that okay, these are all negative, emotions. So first of all, uh, if so let's talk about the moments, because let's say if I'm an entrepreneur, there will be times in the day itself where I might just feel a little low.
Hmm. True.
So doing a check-in at that point of time that okay, I'm in this zone right now, and but at the same time I have a meeting. Let's say if something would have happened before this, the live show that we are on, and
Yeah.
I need to navigate my emotion.
True.
So one of a very important tool, it's called the 3P tool. Right.
Hmm.
So ask yourself, first of all, is this permanent? Because very important thing to remember is that actually this emotion is lasting only for 6 seconds. And then later on, we are only, because we are all meaning making machines. All
Yeah.
these are end of the day, what meanings we are making out of it.
Right. Very
Right.
true.
So thinking about it that okay, this state is not a permanent state. This is something temporary. Right. Second is, okay, pervasive. Is it isolated or pervasive? Is it affecting everything? Because sometimes we have, as you said, sometimes we overthink or will generalize.
Yeah.
In psychology, we call them automatic negative thoughts.
Hmm.
They creep in.
Very.
They're
Yeah.
like popcorn thoughts. We also call them popcorn thoughts because they just pop up. No, I'm not
Nice
worried about.
word.
Yeah. So those. So what happens that is it that okay? It's just affecting one. We have this tendency to say you always do this, right? Kids will also say
Hmm.
you always do this. We will also tell our kids that you never listen.
Yeah.
So when we use that words of always, never, right? So is it affecting one part isolated or is it pervasive? It's affecting everything. Sometimes we are, kind of not able to see that it is just a little thing right now which is affecting one part of it.
Yeah.
Being aware of it. And the third is powerless, because there is where intentionally you can tap into your power. So the it's like, so the triple P, the reverse of it is tie, that it is temporary, it's
Hmm.
isolated, and I can put effort. I can
Wow.
work on my circle of control. So if
Yeah.
please, you can't remember TIE. That acronym, I love acronyms, so that can help you
Yeah. That's
remember.
a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
So that it's a temporary thing. Yes, it's affecting one part, and I can put in efforts. I have not. I need to tap into, because there are times when I will lose that. So whenever you're feeling that, so optimism is a huge EQ superpower we call,
Hmm.
because this is also a learned thing. We have to learn to be optimistic. It doesn't
Right.
automatically come.
Come. Yes. 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 Very true.
So that technique can help you, to move into that zone when you're feeling a little demotivated. So any
Fantastic.
maybe and the immediate techniques can be, let's say, okay, you can maybe go for a walk, because there are certain strategies which are, we call them action strategies. Certain strategies we call them thinking strategies. So
Hmm.
thinking is you're working on your self talk and
Yeah.
reframing, distancing yourself from it, distracting maybe sometimes. But if distraction is you're always distracting from your emotions, then you're not working on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to distract, right? So you
Yeah.
can go for a walk, you can do some breathing exercises. You can actually, this is a very effective exercise where you actually see that you are sitting in front of a river and all your thoughts and emotions are like boats in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Or we tell the kids that, okay, imagine that, okay, your thoughts are clouds, and clouds are going to go, right? They're not going to like stay there.
See.
So just
Yeah.
watch the cloud and see what happens. So because they love these kind of things.
Hmm. True.
So, and this works with us also. So these are the immediate, like maybe watching some shows. There are so many. I mean, one thing which happened because of pandemic is that we you can access anything, any
Yeah.
session, any webinar. I think I maintained my sanity by attending many sessions because
Very
I
true.
knew the connection was there.
Yeah.
If you are lonely, just saying that, okay, I'm lonely is not going to help. What is the action that I can take? But only if I identify and accept that I'm lonely, then I will take
We'll take
steps
an
to reach
action.
out.
Yeah. Very true.
First, I need to acknowledge that within myself.
Very true. True.
So, identifying actually, it's the most understated, but that automatically will help you that, okay, what my need is actually, what I really need to do.
Very important. We fail to acknowledge very often and
Yeah.
even sit down with ourselves to, make that effort. So great. We've got good comments. Himangi says, amazing, very good info. Pramila is saying, please share the apps. Yes, we did speak
I will.
on those. Nilima did say about Mood Meter. And Pramila has a question. I think you kind of answered because she says, great, thanks. But I'll ask you the question anyway. How do we help as parents that our kids develop this self-esteem as they set out into the world?
Mhm.
So I think you have answered that question, but if you want to say anything more, you can let us.
Uh, you know, Practicing affirmations consciously will help. And actually, not just sometimes we say, okay, good job, right? But we're not very specific as to what exactly, what effort they have put in,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes they complete the whole task, and if we can actually say that, okay, you were able to follow all the instructions and complete it, that sense of completion gives them that confidence that they're able to finish it. So actually emphasizing on those things can help them, you know to do
Yeah.
that. And also, let me think on few, like, let's say that if end of the day, okay, if we sit down and actually talk about whatever happened and the impact of that on them, and if needs any, if it that needs any intervention, that point of time, that help.
Mhm.
Because let's say sometimes, okay, maybe I'm sorry, I might take it to a different move, but I just want to give this parent a thought that sometimes we feel asking for support, we don't, not everyone finds it easy,
Yeah.
right? But even telling the child that it is okay to ask for support, and they knowing that, okay, in my world I have people around whom I can approach. I mean, do you feel good when I used to feel good, when my parents were there? Now they're not there, but okay. But your parents' presence makes you feel good,
Yeah.
right? So this might look small, but think about it. I mean, that being available to them, being present with them, that itself is a boost for them. And as I said, practicing those affirmations and acknowledging, validating their feelings, because sometimes what happens, that let's say if the child says I'm sad, oh, don't be sad. Personally, I don't feel, that that's the right response, because sadness also, all those emotions are important. The whole emotion spectrum is important.
Hmm.
So
True.
that part I'm not commenting like this, that okay, don't be sad. I mean, it's okay to be sad, and then trying to kind of find out, is anything bothering, because just maybe saying that statement and just being there also might not help. We need to kind of work on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that this was long time back when my son was very very small, and I used to read stories to him in the night. That was one thing that actually, that was some connection. That point of time he used to love reading and
Story.
listening to stories in the night. And one day he said that you know, he didn't say I don't want to go to school, but he said that as if it's better that I can't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, what happened? Uh, it's just a minute, just last. And I kind of figured out after talking to him, it's not just one thing that is. Then when I kind of asked him a little bit, and kind of found some stories when I read. I mean, it took some little time, and then he shared that his friends don't like his questions in the class, and they say that you think too high of yourself, and why do you trouble the teacher? Why are you asking questions? So many questions you always have. So it's like better that I can't hear and I can't talk. That
Oh,
imagine that's such a big thing coming from a child who's in
well,
full standard.
hmm.
And we sometimes are not aware of it and the impact of it at the later years. But sometimes during reading stories on how to build self-esteem, there are so there are a lot of stuff available. I can find out and she can share with you. But
Thank you.
basically, giving permission to feel all their emotions will make be a game changer.
Fantastic. And Manisha, before you leave, do you have any few words for our viewers?
uh, Yes, I mean, first of all, thanks for being here, and thank you so much, Portos Events. I mean, you're doing an amazing job. I heard that you started last September, I think. So it's been a year that
Yeah.
you were giving so many great inputs to all the viewers and to all of us. So m- my last my message will be that don't judge your emotions, don't be judgmental, be compassionate towards yourself, be curious about your emotions, and treat this as a work in progress for yourself. And it's like going to an EQ gym,
Hmm.
which will help to, because it is simultaneously important to work on our emotional health. It's an ongoing thing. So I mean, work on that EQ muscle by taking
Yeah.
consistent actions, and always remember that if there is anything which is affecting outside, always remember that your inner world, where first question should be to yourself,
Yeah.
that
Very true.
okay, is it because of maybe some attachment to certain thoughts, some belief that is there, where is it coming from? Ask yourself, dig deeper, be with it. We say that okay, feel it to heal it.
Right.
Be, last my thing will be that befriend your discomfort,
True.
because that discomfort will tell you. We this is an amazing technique. Have tea with emotion. Sit down. Even let's say a guest comes to your house, and you know you don't like that guest, but you still offer them tea. You still try to understand them. You still be with them, and sometimes you start liking them also. So
Yeah.
maybe when you sit down with a particular emotion, and literally, it's not a joke. It's like really, it's a very good technique. That's it.
Hmm.
Maybe to understand that it has a wisdom, it has some insight to tell you.
True.
Even when the child is feeling low, it has something to tell you, and then you can work on that. It's not
Yeah.
that I always have all the answers as a parent. It's okay not to have answers. So
Yeah.
forgive yourself also. So curiosity, compassion, courage. Be willing to share your vulnerability. Have a friend where you can all your darkest secrets, your so-called darkest emotions, you can share with that person, because once you talk, you know it's
Yeah.
called I read this just few days back, something called conscious gossiping, and I love that term.
Amazing.
Yes, do consciously. If you don't have a
I
friend, sit in front of the mirror. So uh, these things, they look, maybe sound very simple, but when we consistently do them, it makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for having me here. It
A
was a
pleasure, pleasure. We could take out so much time of yours and share so much. And I can see the comments. I'm sure the viewers who will watch it later are going to get so much of this. And the acronyms, amazing. I'll try to put them out in the post now. So thank you, Manisha. Thank you so much for today. We wish you great luck for future and
thank
see you
you.
soon. Maybe again we
Thank
can
you.
schedule. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you
Take
so much.
care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, all
Bye.
the viewers. Thank you.
Hello, guys. So we had Manisha with us. I hope we could explain a lot. We just wanted to help you a bit with your emotions and, have this journey forward in your life smooth. So next week, we'll be back again on the Wednesday Talk Show with an amazing guest, Sheetal Saparia. She's going to be here and she's going to be talking about very interesting stuff. Look out for that post because I will not share much now. So next week, see you on the Wednesday Talk Show. Have a great week ahead. Bye, guys.